Today we're taking a look at a photo outing with the Canon EOS M50, the 50mm f1.8 on the standard OEM adapter to the EFM system, and the 55 to 200mm EFM lens. This is the same outing as the Tarion backpack video, but in this case we're going to look at the photography, all the photos. So let's get started. Looks really nice so far. Hopefully there'll be more than just a path though. I do see a structure, nice little parking lot. Can't complain. A lot of the lands look like some type of prairie restoration for Illinois. We have a certain look to the traditional original prairie lands, but they're trying to reintroduce those plants, and you've got beautiful flowering plants, you've got a lot of tall grasses and things of that nature. This area is actually really nice. I wasn't sure what to expect, but nice open area right by the parking. A lot of flowers, great for the 50 with the adapter. Of course, flower photography is so prevalent, but I'm not going to shy away from it. I really do enjoy it, taking photos of beautiful flowers. It worked pretty well with the 50mm lens on the OEM adapter. I was shooting around 2.8 because it was extremely bright, going almost max shutter speed, but it worked well enough. One key thing, especially when it's super bright out, is have your histogram on in the viewfinder. Even though it's doing an estimation of the exposure, it's so hard to tell on any type of electronic viewfinder. And of course, standard DSLR is the same thing, so we have an extra benefit with the mirrorless cameras to get that histogram. From there, I checked out the large bridge on the bike path, trying to think of a good angle for it. I did take some photos that didn't work out too well, but I got close to it, got really low, and used that large aperture to get a really interesting photo out of it. I also tried to capture small areas of the bridge and just use that large aperture to get nice blur in the background. There's some wind here, which is very welcome right now. It's super warm. Man, two directions, I don't know. Let's scout a little bit more. This is nice. So much nicer than I was expecting. I thought it'd be a barren bike path, you know. From the bridge, I was checking out the paths themselves. From there was a really nice path that winded both ways. Great subject for a photo, definitely with a long telephoto lens, but the 50 worked pretty well also. One of my favorite things to do with leaves is to get below them, especially with some light coming in. You get a really nice glow because they're generally translucent if they're alive, and I love that look. Definitely was able to get some of that in this area. In certain areas, I was able to use the telephoto lens to compress some of the scene, get different levels of interest to the photo, and just worked out well. Of course, it is challenging to deal with nature stuff, try to get something interesting out of it in photography, but with different lenses, different looks, perspectives, I think you can make something out of it. There is one very shaded area, really nice canopy of trees. In that case, I could use small apertures to get those sun flares, those starbursts, or sunbursts, whatever you want to call them, to show up in the photo. Pick your angles, and it looks really nice to get those explosions of light coming out where the sun is coming through those trees. There were a few human structures in the area, buildings, water tower, different things. Also, I saw a few planes. This area, I guess, is right on the path where it goes to the airport in this general area, which is usually cargo, but there is some passenger planes as well. I did see a few small animals, but I wasn't able to get anything too interesting. A lot of butterflies, which is probably a great thing to check out in the future for that, when I have more time to really focus just on that. Related to that, I saw clouds of insects, which was a really interesting photo. It was pretty challenging to do with a mirrorless camera, and the viewfinders that the M50 has, they aren't super high resolution, so I wasn't really sure I was getting the photo, but it turns out that I did. Things to consider in photo situations like this, especially this time of year in Illinois or certain areas that are similar, maybe even worse. Definitely you want to have a large wide brim hat. Also sunscreen, of course, for your arms or any exposed areas. Definitely water, add some in my case, but more is always better. You can, especially I had a nice large backpack, so I didn't have any issues with that. But stay safe in those photo outings when you're out in the super hot sun. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, this quick photo outing. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. That helps me out a lot. Likes and shares help out a lot as well. Scott Photography Bonsai. Thanks.